Hey everyone, welcome to Taisen Analyzes Reddit. Today's story is from ProRevenge and it's about an actor who picks the wrong sound crew to mess with. Now, let's begin. Here's another little tale from my days working in the entertainment business. Very early on in my career, I managed to get a gig working as a showman, a person hired in just to work the show, on stage electrics and follow spots on a major West End musical. Even though I was nominally a sound engineer, the chance to work on a big show in albeit a different capacity was too good to pass up. When you're a youngster in this industry, you would be daft to turn down such an opportunity, because the experience garnered is invaluable, even if it's not directly related to your primary skill set. We spent around 6 weeks working on the production fit-up. Most of the time, I was working on rigging lamps, running cables, installing additional dimmer racks, yada yada. Sometimes I got to help out the sound crew rigging their kit and thus got to know them quite well. Fast forward to a few months after opening night, some of the electric showmen, myself included, had managed to pick up the occasional extra work assisting the daymen, crew who were permanently hired to the theater, doing lamp rounds, quote unquote. This is where you go around the entire theater, front and backstage, replacing burned out lamps used for extra money. Thus, I happened to be in the theater well before the half-hour call and was hanging out with the crew at the sound desk. There were two of them. We'll call them Pete and Chris. One would run the FOH board for that night's show, while the other would do other jobs like handing out the radio mics to the cast at the half, collect them at the end, and troubleshoot any problems during the show. They'd also swap duties every day. So, we hear the half called and Chris goes off backstage with his box of radio mics to hand them out, while I carry on chatting to Pete. About 10 minutes later, we see Chris returning to the FOH desk looking very distressed. Pete asks him what on earth was wrong. It transpired that the male juvenile lead had bollocked out Chris for some utterly trivial problem to the point where he had been reduced to tears. I should point out that this particular actor was not well liked by the crew because of his arrogant and holier-than-thou attitude. This did seriously not sit well with Pete at all. By this time, the audience was beginning to fill the auditorium and you could hear the ambient chatter level going up. Pete then grabbed his headphones and parking one piece over his right ear, proceeded to punch in the pre-fade listen button for that actor's channel. A grin then crept over his face. He then brought the channel live and very slowly raised the channel fader. He handed Chris the cans and a huge grin also spread across his face. Chris then handed me the cans so I could hear what had amused him so much. I listened in to be confronted by the sound of the actor right in the middle of taking a full throttle dump. We are talking grunts and groans and levels of flatulence quite the equal of the trumpets that flattened the walls of Jericho. Bear in mind that this sound is now being leaked out into the auditorium, albeit at a level just barely perceptible to the audience. I glanced around at the punters in the stalls and saw that quite a few people were looking around quizzically. I had to struggle to rein in my laughter at the delicious payback, but as it was getting close to Act 1 beginners, I had to go off and take my station. So I high-fived my friends and went through the stage pass door to the electrics crew room, to be confronted by my colleagues falling about in hysterics. It was then that I became aware of a peculiarity with the show relay. For context, the show relay is a microphone front of house and a bunch of speakers all over the backstage and dressing room areas that allow cast and crew to listen in to the progress of a show. Due to a curiosity of its design, what was just barely audible out front was now being hugely magnified backstage. The entire cast and crew, no matter where they were being subjected to the sounds of our actor, quote unquote, dropping the kids off at the pool at practically full volume. Wow. For the rest of the show, the hapless idiot had to contend with the entire cast and crew giggling uncontrollably whenever he went past, and all the while remained completely oblivious to the reason why. As the one place there were no show relay speakers was in the toilets. Wow. Well, I definitely want to say that you guys had flushed the actor down the toilet with this one, and this was a pretty, truly crappy revenge. But in all seriousness, I just want to say, I guess when it comes to, the tech crew members and the actors, it's not easy dealing with certain type of actors, and there are actors that are stuck up and they might treat you one way or another. And, definitely this teaches that you should, be nice to another. I said this before and I'll definitely say it again. You should definitely be nice to another and don't treat certain people the way that you treat them as trash and things to that effect. But yeah, I just wanted to say you guys got your revenge, and I want to thank the user for allowing me to use their story and to make analysis as well. And I'll provide a link to their story as well as their profile. And yeah, this is Taisen. Like, share, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, have it set to all, and I will see you next time.